All right, speaker, thank you for joining us. You have a comment?
Caller ending in 4023, can you please unmute yourself?
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
I can
can.
hear you.
Great, okay. Thank you. My name is Todd Cunningham, and I live in the city of Los Angeles and work for LA Can. I'm calling to urge the Economic Development Committee to support the Good Food Zone policy implementation and work with EWDD and CD9 in creating an appropriate, equitable plan to implement this innovative policy and program. This policy was, of course, passed by City Council back in early March, but there's been no action to move it forward in time for the pilot phase in January. I care about this because many members of my community have been impacted by historic food divestment, which has resulted in health issues like heart disease, stroke, and death. These issues have been compounded in the wake of COVID-19. Small businesses offering food options need support to offer a living wage and improve the healthy options they offer in their store's inventory. When implemented, the Good Food Zone will provide economic opportunity for small good food businesses and ensure access to healthy food options in communities experiencing food apartheid. Ironically, this policy is tailor-made to help address the gaps laid bare by the breaks in our food system during the pandemic. I'm asking for this committee's support and guidance for the implementation of the Good Food Zone policy. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Next speaker, please.
Okay.
You guys are okay?
One little thing I got to correct in here. Okay.
Speaker ending in 7666, please press star 6 to unmute yourself. Speaker ending in 7666, please press star 6 to unmute yourself. Speaker ending in 7666, please press star 6. Okay, moving forward. Mr. Chair, you have no more calls on the line.
Okay, we're going to close the public comment at this time. Thank you for participating.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Madam members, unless there's an objection, I'd like to take items 4 through 16 on consent. 4 through 16 on consent.
Move the items.
Without objection, that will be the order. Okay, Madam Clerk, item 1, please.
Item 1 is a verbal report from the Economic and Workforce Development Department regarding an update of the Regional Recovery Fund.
Good afternoon, Carolyn. Good to see you.
Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me?
I think we can.
Okay, great.
We don't want to rush you, but we would like a brief overview and report.
I
What's going on and how it's been received.
I will indeed. I'll remedy the soul of wit. I will make it short. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. As we all know, to combat the devastation of the small businesses caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, the EWDD, with support of the City Council and the Mayor's Office, partnered with CDFI or directly administered 4 funds with a total value of approximately $65 million in CARES Act dollars. The funds are as follows: the Regional Relief Fund, the Child Care Provider Fund, the Street Vendor Fund, and the Small Business Recovery Grant Program. It was formerly called City Central Loan Program, which recently converted to Grant Program. In summary, we're on pace to expend all the CARES Act dollars that have been allocated to each of the funds. We've also experienced some administrative savings of approximately $600,000 in the Regional Relief Fund. Our partner, CDFI and partner list, is functioning at or near capacity, so EWDD will take these savings and redistribute those funds to businesses that applied but did not receive funding from the Small Business Recovery Grant Program. This will ensure that we maximize the relief funds for local businesses. Yes.
These funds have to be expended by the end of the year?
That is correct. Because we've been doing analyses along the way and determined that there was administrative savings, we're now able to capture those funds and redistribute it. This is in the process of the FSR, so that was put through, I believe, yesterday or even this morning. So those funds are in the process of being redistributed. This is again important because we want to make sure that every dollar that can will be distributed to small businesses. The program, as we all know, has been extremely well received and oversubscribed, all of the funds. And as we've previously discussed in different meetings, the regional relief funds were selected through a lottery system that resulted in, it was based on equity measures, which resulted in a citywide program with the following distribution of funds per council district. Would you like me to go through that?
Not at this time. I think,
Okay,
if you can give us a written report, I think the members like to get something in writing.
I will do that. But overall, I can transmit it in writing, but overall, let me just say that the programs were well received. These programs were a lifeline to small businesses and childcare providers and micro entrepreneurs, and it is our intention to get every dollar out the door by the end of December 1st.
We all
I'm
are
open for
concerned,
questions.
thank you. We all are concerned about fraud and abuse in this process. Can you talk a little bit about safeguards that are in place as you vet potential recipients?
We've had exhaustive safeguards. As you know, we've partnered with the CDFI list on one end for the regional fund and with the low income investment fund for the child care provider fund. We have gone through and vetted each recipient and grantee to make sure that they had, in the case of the city, for most categories, have to have an active BTRC. In the child care providers, they have to be open. And so we've taken every precaution that is possible to make sure that there's no little, if any, fraud or in the program.
And then finally, I know there have been several application rounds. Can you guide us where we are now in terms of what rounds are open for which funds?
At this moment, all the funds have closed their rounds. We're very much engaged in the process of getting the funding out the door. In case of the regional fund right now, I'm happy to state that about approximately $28 to $30 million has been paid out of the up to $40 million that has been designated for it. And so we are focused. So to answer your question, all the rounds are closed.
Okay. Members, any questions?
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, thank you, Caroline, good to see you. How is the effort with regards to the street vending effort with in partnership with the county? How's that going?
In partnership with List, List is our fund administrator, and we are right now, I just got a word that we have 1.2 or 1.5 million that's already, of the 2 million that's been allocated already, paid, or about to be paid. I'm sorry, Jackie will jump in and correct me. It's about to be paid. So we have been working tirelessly with I have to give credit to our business source centers who have worked overtime to work with this particular community, because there is some fear as we call people, and Jackie can attest to this, as we're telling them that we're giving them grants. There's a little, shall we say, lack of belief on their part. And Jackie actually, thank you, was on the phone today with some grantees, convincing them that she is real and that we do want to give them money.
Awesome. And so do we...
Thank you, Jackie.
No problem.
So are we on track to expend all the $2 million that we allocated?
your next update.
I will indeed. I'm looking forward to it as well.
All right, great. Okay, Madam Clerk, our next item.
Item number 2 is an Economic and Workforce Development Department report relative to changes to streamline city processes affecting the food and beverage industry.
Okay, an important.
Correct. And the county was instrumental with individuals such as Jim Dragan and Linda Griego. The working group was chaired by Small Business Commissioner Mott Smith and staffed by EWBD's Vanessa Willis and Quasi Hancliffe. We could not have done it without this team, and I want to turn it over to Jackie for a brief update.
Thank you, Kelly, and I also echo those thanks for everybody who was involved in the working group. This process took place in through the course of 8 weeks. I'm going to cut down my speaking points in the essence of time. The working group met to discuss strategies on update of city and county processes, policies, codes, including updating regulations, interpretations, alignment with multiple approval process, interagency coordination, improving processes such as plan check, inspections, critical conditional use permits, etc. There were over 70 changes in operations policies and practices that were discussed. All of those are attached in attachment 1. They're included in attachment 1. This transmittal, however, did include 25 recommendations for 9 city departments, which if approved, it would enable businesses most hard hit by COVID to reinvent operational needs while protecting public health. The recommendations vary, as you can see. Most of them will require different departments to evaluate and report back on processes, implementation, etc. And we'll open to any questions that you would like to ask.
Can any of these changes be implemented without council approval?
I believe most of them will. There is one, Bureau of DBS, requiring. There's a policy that requires all employees to have a signature line with what the RDO is, and the policy that requires them to respond within a 2-day time frame. That doesn't require council action, but it's something that we want to make known across the industry that DBS will respond back within 48 hours. However, it does depend on their RDO and et cetera, so that having that in their signature line does help. But most of the other ones will require council action.
And I just want to make sure that you and Carolyn can confirm that if these recommendations are approved, the city departments will be reported to the council to seek final approval before they are implemented.
Yes.
Great. Mr. Luciano, I understand you got an amendment?
Yeah, a couple of recommendations. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thanks for the report. really want to acknowledge the department's role in putting together some recommendations and including a diverse group in your working group. I want to acknowledge a member of one of my constituents representing the St. Peter Chamber of Commerce, Elise Swanson, who served on the working group, the work that they've done. We're going to bring a lot of value. One thing that I know it's noted that some of the some council offices were included in some of the decision-making recommendations. I just wanted to point out something that you've heard me in this committee, which we led, is our outdoor dining platform program, which should be a model for this entire city. I was hoping that the working group and the recommendations focused on how we can help restaurants in these times of crisis to expand their square footage and their footprint to help serve their customers outside. I don't see this vaccine being deployed anytime soon here, although we know that the vaccine is coming. And doing all we can to rebuild, recover, and help our small businesses as much as we can. So something that, just to take note. Also want to include an additional recommendation, Mr. Chair, if you're okay with this, that the Bureau of Street Services and the Department of Building and Safety, along with the Fire Department, report back on ways to streamline the process for approving tents, canopies, and awnings in the public right-of-way. Additionally, request that the Department of Transportation, the Fire Department, Department of Building Safety, and any other departments as needed report back on streamlining processes for utilizing alleys for outdoor dining, and do all we can to ensure that we get bureaucracy and red tape out of the way to help our small business restaurants in our city. You're okay with those recommendations?
Yes, I am. I think those are appropriate.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Ms. Rodriguez.
No, I'm fine. I just wanted to actually, it was just wrote, the news just broke, I thought I'd share with you, Mr. Buscaino and Mr. Frank, that it was a judge ordered that the county did tax arbitrarily on closing down outdoor dining. So,
Yeah.
We were right. Yeah, I knew I was right. But anyway, there's just, look, there's an immense amount of relief that we have to provide. Unlike the county, we don't have the beneficiary, we're not the beneficiaries of the guaranteed property taxes. We rely completely on the ability for businesses to operate successfully in the city of Los Angeles. We derive our revenue from that. So, it's just, everything that we have to do to help support the industry is of the utmost importance. So, just glad you're there, Carolyn. Sorry. Glad you're there and leading this effort for us, because God knows we've been waiting for you, and we appreciate everything that you're doing.
So thank you so much. It's really the team. I can't say enough about the working group that we had and the team that's supporting us at EWDD. And Councilman, you can call me anything but not late for dinner since you're going to have me over. Okay.
Well, thank you, Carol. We appreciate, as I said, the teamwork. You, Jacqueline, and the rest of your team making these programs work, making them work smoothly. Members, any other comments? Seeing none, we're going to approve the recommendations 1 through 9 and instruct the CLA to draft resolutions for the legislative items specified in recommendations 10, 11, and report to the council in a separate cover, including those issues raised by Mr. Buscaino. Okay? Okay, without if there's no further discussion, that will be the order.
Mr. Chair, would you like me to take a vote? Pardon me, Mr. Chair, would you like me to take a vote on that item or any item?
Is it necessary? Yes, let's take a vote.
Okay. Price,
Yes.
Buscaino,
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Aye.
3 ayes. This item is approved.
Okay, it's unanimous.
And Mr. Chair, I gotta get to my committee meeting.
All right, we will move to you. Thank you. Okay, next item, Madam Clerk, I think our last item.
Yes, sir. Item 3 is a motion, Buscaino Price, relative to establishing standards for third-party automated employment selection tools to promote equitable hiring across race, ethnicity, and gender.
Okay, do we have a report on this? It's a motion, so there's no report yet.
Yeah,
Mr. Busciano, you want to elaborate?
yeah, if I can, Mr. Chair, thank you. So we introduced this motion with support of community partners because we felt in CD15 and throughout the city of Los Angeles, we were told, it was brought to our attention that many of the hiring software tools that businesses readily use are implicitly biased in nature. Know that more than 60% of employers use pre-hire tests or assessments for sorting applicants. And the widespread, what we've learned over recent years is that hiring tools prioritize the most privileged and connected job candidates. They are imperfect tools with little to no oversight or regulation that lead to devastating results. Our city's populations that are already at a major disadvantage in the workforce continue to be set aside in the job screening process. Mr. Chair, you know this well with your efforts of banning the box. Thanks to your leadership, we elevated that narrative and that policy change in the city of LA. Even when a person may be the perfect candidate for the job, their applications aren't getting in front of recruiters and hiring managers, and this is due to poorly designed and unregulated hiring software systems. We also know that when we are in very challenging times like today, our local economy continues to suffer, but recovery will come, hopefully as soon as next year. We're anticipating, the economists are telling us, like Q4 of 2021. And when society rebounds and businesses being able to rehire, we need to make sure that there's a fair hiring practice and systems that are in place. So I look forward to the report back and recommendations from the Chief Legislative Analyst, the Bureau of Contract Administration, and City Attorney's Office to promote equitable hiring across race, ethnicity, and gender. And I finally want to thank Mr. Price, our chair, for scheduling this item so that we can quickly understand the importance of this item moving forward. So I appreciate that and ask for your support.
Thank you, Mr. Busciano. We appreciate your leadership on this digital ban the box.
Right.
I think it's consistent with what we did earlier. Appreciate your support then. Look forward to working with you on this now. And so, without objection, we'll adopt the motion and send it on to the Chief Legislative Analyst.
Thank you.
Is there anything else before us at this time, Madam Clerk?
The desk is clear.
Desk is clear, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is this the last one of the year?
Not quite.
Oh, we got another one. Okay.
No, it is. It is?
It is.
It is.
All right. Appreciate you all. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Woo, thank God this one's over.
Your mic's still on.
Oh, sorry. I want to get a refund. I'm going to need a refund for 2020.